I want to talk to you about something in the future. Thermocasting. Thermocasting metal. Okay, you're familiar with your stovetop, the electric burners, and that idea is going to play in this. Now, if you were to think of this in terms of like two things, flour and sugar, mix together flour and sugar. That's how you kind of have to think of a regular like steel, like a type of steel, and mix into that the same metal that you would use in making the stovetop electric burners. See, in the future, it's just commonplace, and I can't believe what you guys pretty much have the way to do it now. Let me see if the title is in there. Okay, I'm going to have to go up a little bit with this. Okay. You have the ability to take two different types of metals and mix them together. Again, it's like you have to think of it in terms of like mixing flour and sugar, so they're all distributed together. And what happens is, this is for the purpose of, you have the metals put together, whether you like heat them up and melt them together or whatever. I don't know exactly how they do it. I just know what they do. They put the same metal from what your stovetop burners are made of. They mix a small portion of that into like a low grade of steel. That's when you put an electric current through the steel, what it's doing is it's also going through the same metal that's like on your burners. And that superheats up. It superheats. And it makes the metal pliable. So you can take tools and actually push it into a mold. Like I made a boat when I was young. I made a boat that way. You have the tools. One's rounded on the edge. Another one's almost like it's like a giant. It looks like the tip of it's like a giant flathead screwdriver, so you can push into like corners and things like that in the mold. And this metal becomes very pliable. You still have to use some effort to push the metal into the mold, but it's heated up enough, and you have special gloves, of course, you're wearing too. You're not going to touch the metal. You use the tools to touch the metal. But the one that's like rounded like a ball, you're just kind of pushing the metal in, starting at the edges and working your way in, until you've got it all pushed into the mold. And it's all the time you've got this. It looks like it's kind of reminiscent of jumper cables. That's the closest thing it can come to it. It's not exactly that, but it's like what you do with jumper cables. One side of the metal and the other side. It's clamped on. You got electric current running through it. And again, the part that's I'll say this. There's not much in the way of visual, so I'll go like this. And it's supposed to be two metals. One's like what you have on your stovetop burner, and the other one is the low-grade steel. And it's pretty simple. That you can kind of see where this would go. That's supposed to say low-grade steel. Okay. So what happens is that you get the right mixture of the proportions of these this metal right here from the electric burners on your stovetop. It's kind of like that. It's not the exact stuff, but it's kind of like that. And this is kind of like, when I say low-grade steel, it's not, the lowest grade steel, if you will, would be kind of like your, what is those things you have, the metal heats up and you touch the little metal and it melts and you put it on motherboards or something like that. Darn it, like tin is an example. Soldering is like a really, really, really weak. Okay, we're not talking that low grade. Okay, it's not even steel; it's tin. At least some of it can be tin. I don't know what the other ones there are. I do have some tin actually that I bought myself and tried to mess around with that. But it's just low enough. It's not 440, but it's something like less strong metal that you can be pliable, but yet strong enough that when you take the current off and it cools, it's going to keep the shape that you mold it into. Does that make sense? I hope. Anyway, that's the way it works. So you just need some, and it's thermocasting metal, or just thermocasting. So it's just, you know, something real simple to do, and there's lots of different projects you can do. You can take the metals and make different shapes. Where this comes from? In order to do that, and the metals come in, they come in sheets, by the way. They come in sheets. There's different thicknesses for different purposes, whatever you're going to make them into. They have like as thin as a millimeter, and they also have as thick as like, you know, a centimeter or more. I think you have a like special order if you want it thicker than that. But the common is a centimeter for like big things like making structures, I think, or something like this. Boats, that's like 2 millimeters. Just a basic, like a boat, like you're going to go out on the water just fishing. Just a small boat, you and somebody else. They also have other molds where you can like make, you know, chairs and things like that out of this metal. But the thing is, you're doing it yourself, and it's really easy. It's made real easy. I can't believe how easily it is. I mean, I did it in high school, so it's like this is really cool. I wish we had it now. It makes things so much easier when you run a current through it. It's got distributed throughout. Part of the metal evenly distributed throughout, that it superheats the other part of it, the other metal that's connecting it all together, so that it's pliable enough that you can make these things. It's just real quick. In one day you can make yourself a boat. You got the kit, you got the metal in sheets, and you can just connect the electric diodes on each side and go for it. You just press it into the mold. They come pre-done. You have to buy the molds along with the metal. You buy it in a kit, and there you go. I mean, you got sheets, and they also come in blocks for other purposes. I don't use it for any. I've never had a use for the blocks of metal, but they have blocks of metal also that, for like the commercial ones, take the blocks of metal, and they press them out to whatever, almost like, you know, taking dough and rolling out to the shape that you want, like an oval or a circle or whatever like that. But that's for like more commercial. But anyway, that's what I remember from just giving you guys some things from the future that I remember, and giving you some ideas of what's out there. I think that's it for now. I don't think I've forgotten anything. I mean, that's pretty simple, cut and dry, what it's made of, and then how it looks when it comes. And you use the molds. You order the molds for whatever shape it is. Some do body parts for automobiles. They'll get this type of metal and make their own shape of the old style vehicles, you know, some of the classic favorites, things like that. So anyway, that's it for now. Comment. If somebody can run with this and knows enough that you could see this working now and has the resources, you guys could make billions off of this now. Go for it. Thanks.